In this episode, we'll take a look at the Azden Pro XD wireless lavalier system. We're going to record out here today at the park because it's a beautiful autumn day. It's getting a little chilly, but take advantage of the last few nicer days outdoors. In this case, we're looking at the Azden Pro XD wireless lavalier system. This is a system that fits more into the kind of consumer, maybe prosumer range. So it runs about $199 US at present. And let's take a closer look at it to see who it's really for. First of all, just wanted you to hear exactly what it sounds like straight out of the camera. So we haven't done any processing here except for loudness normalizing to minus 24 LUFS. That doesn't require any compression, no EQ, no anything except for bringing the level up so that the loudness is at minus 24 LUFS. This is what that sounds like. Incidentally, when I do this, when I'm recording here to my Panasonic GH4 camera, the input level on the camera I had to set all the way to the lowest setting, and I was getting a nice strong signal. So the output level on the Pro XD is really quite nice. First of all, let's run through the really strong points on the Azden Pro XD. First of all is the size of the transmitter and the receiver. These things are tiny. They're definitely the smallest that I've used. They probably get pretty close in size to some of the offerings by the high-end gear like Electrosonics and Zaxcom, so really nice to have a very small kit. However, the receiver does have a little bit of an antenna. You can adjust the angle of the antenna so it doesn't really get in the way in my experience. But again, really nice that they have such small transmitters and receivers. In terms of pairing the transmitter with receiver, super simple. They come paired out of the factory, but if for whatever reason you need to re-pair them, it's just a matter of pressing and holding the power button until the little Wi-Fi signal flashes. Do the same thing on the transmitter, do the same thing on the transmitter and the receiver, and within half a second, 2 seconds at the most, they're paired up and ready to go. In terms of what you can record to, it has a 3.5 millimeter TRS output from the receiver, which means you can take it into almost any camera that has a microphone input that's a 3.5 millimeter mic input. You also get an adapter that comes with the kit to TRRS, which means that you then can also record the receiver into a mobile phone or tablet, which is a really nice feature as well. Then of course you could also use an adapter to adapt to XLR. In my case, I used a Rode VXLR adapter, which is like a $10 adapter. It ran out the 3.5 millimeter TRS into my Zoom F8 and it worked flawlessly. One of the things that really impressed me with the Pro XD is its battery life. I did a test here where I had the transmitter and receiver about 5 meters apart from each other. Had the receiver recording into a Tascam DR05 and had the mic set up with the default mic that it comes with. I was able to get 10 hours and 55 minutes. That is actually more than I got on the other two systems that I've reviewed, both the Sennheiser AVX and the Rode Link. So really impressive battery life. The system also manages heavy Wi-Fi environments very nicely without any issues. I was in an environment here where we tested all of our other wireless systems as well. 10 plus Wi-Fi networks and did not have any drops as a result of interference with the Wi-Fi networks. I don't know if you can see them in the ceiling here. These little things look like little tiny speakers, about that big. Those are white noise generators, so this is a brutal environment as far as recording is concerned. So here we're just going to do a little distance test and see how far we go. When I get to the end, we'll be at about 50 meters for those of you that are interested in that. And I think for me, this is probably a better test of a wireless system, a digital wireless system, than just going out on a football field, because on a football field, you sight the entire time. Right now, much worse staying in touch or cutting out, but let's go ahead and walk back now. So it's about right here when I'm back in line of sight. So we should be hearing the signal again if this is operating anything like the Rode Link or the Sennheiser AVX in terms of its ability to maintain a connection. Likewise, in terms of indoor range, we got a really good range on this, just as good as the Rode Link. We were able to get 50 meters away indoors with lots of Wi-Fi and didn't have any drops as long as we were in line of sight. Once we went out of line of sight around a corner, that's when we did get some drops. Same exact thing with the Road Link, so this system holds up pretty nicely. There are a couple of unique features here that I was a little surprised at. First of all, on the transmitter, there's a 3.5mm auxiliary input, and you could use that to run some audio out of, say, for example, your phone into the transmitter and record your voice at the same time. Kind of interesting, not something I had considered before, but kind of an interesting little feature there. Also, on the very nice side, the receiver has a 3.5mm jack for monitoring, so you can hook in a set of headphones and monitor in real time. There was no perceptible latency in my testing, and what I mean by that is that there was no delay between the audio and the video that you're recording. So this works very, very nicely in that regard. And then finally, if you register your unit after you purchase it, you get a 2-year warranty, which is a nice touch as well. All right, what's kind of on the neutral side about this, things you need to know? As expected in the $200 price range, the build quality is reasonable, but not top tier. And that's not unexpected. I mean, normally when you expect you're spending, a lot less than you would on most other the competitor products. This is the plastic on the receiver and the transmitter is pliable. It's decent. It seems like it'll hold up okay if you take care of it. If you drop it, it does have a rubberized edge, so that is helpful if you do drop it. And I think overall, for this price range, I would really consider this a reasonable build. It's not amazing, so it's not like you're getting the steal of the century here, but I think it'll hold up just fine. In terms of the microphone seems like it has a decent build quality as well. It does not have top-tier features, again, like a Kevlar reinforced cable, and it's a little on the large side, but overall the fit and finish is good, and it seems durable. Also, you can use up to 4 of these kits simultaneously. Theoretically, you should be able to use more, but the specs, they say 4 kits simultaneously. And also, you can pair multiple receivers with a single transmitter, which is kind of an interesting feature. So, for example, if you wanted to record directly to your camera and have another receiver recording into a proper audio recorder, you could do that. Now, while the battery life is very good, the batteries are not user replaceable. They have a specification of 300 recharge cycles, so that's 3,200 hours you can reasonably expect out of them. That's decent, again, for the price range. And talking to Azden, they said to me that they are looking at creating a replacement battery program where you actually send them the unit, they replace the batteries for, and I quote, a small fee. Now, there is one con that we have to call out. The microphone that comes with the kit is, I would say, about like what you'd expect for a $50 microphone. So it's not the cleanest microphone. It's a little bit hyped in the 1 kilohertz range, and it's a little bit on the noisy side. Now, one thing I was curious about is there was some noise in the recordings that I made with the Pro XD, and my question was, is that noise in the transmitter, the receiver, or the microphone? And it turns out that it's the microphone. Here's how I tested that. I am recording this here with the Azden Pro XD, except that I've swapped out the microphone that comes with the kit for a Rode smartLav Plus. And when I loudness normalized this to -24 LUFS, I was able to find that the noise floor sat at about -67 dB. So that is compared to -55 when I used the microphone that came with the kit. So there's quite a bit difference in terms of the noise level. And the great news is that the noise is actually in that microphone, which can be swapped out, and it's not an issue with the actual wireless system itself. So who's this system for? I would really say this is for enthusiasts that want to get quality audio, and they need wireless for whatever reason. The first person that actually comes to mind is, and I get 100 questions on this all the time, is I'm going to start a prank channel on YouTube. What microphone can I get? And I think this would be a great option for that. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below. We'd love to answer those. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do that. And we're sure to get you more great videos on how to improve your lighting and sound for video. Talk to you soon.